Hey there, balanced lady bosses. This is Stacy, and welcome to Epic Reflections. You know that every episode of my podcast that I do when I have an interview with someone, I spend a few moments just sharing with you the gems, the pearls that I took away from the conversation. And this discussion that I had with Alina Apostol, psychotherapist and astrologer, was no different. First of all, let's just say that the intersection of psychology and astrology is just absolutely fascinating. And being able to spend time with Alina, exploring that space and exploring all the different things she's been able to learn and use in her therapy practice has really opened up my mind to what we have available to us just with nature, just with the sky, with the stars, with the position of our planets. So aside from it, the conversation having just lots of different insights and gems that I feel are pertinent and relevant to our community, the Balanced Lady Boss community, I just found the whole insight around astrology to be really interesting and creating a little bit of fascination in me and in wanting to explore myself at another level or in another way, right? Now, I encourage you guys to be open-minded as you explore the different things that come up for you as you listen to the gems that I'm about to share, because there may be things that you have heard in different ways before, but I want you to pay special attention to it as we come to the close of 2020 and get ready to embark on the new journey that is 2021. So the first gem that I wanted to reflect upon was around embracing the cave moments. You heard me right. Embrace your cave moments. What do I mean by that? Well, Alina shared that when she moved to Jamaica, because Alina is from Romania, and when she moved to Jamaica in 2014, which was just about 6 years ago, she was coming here at a time that was maybe very challenging for her in her life. Her father had just passed away and she was moving to a country that she was not familiar with, that had a completely different culture, right? And also was moving with her partner, right? And so she was going into a space of transformation. Similarly, in my own life, and that was actually what I wrote about quite a bit in my memoir, I went through my own cave moment, and I've referred to it as a cave moment, where I feel that I went to a place that I was not necessarily familiar with, didn't really have family or friends there, but knew that there was transformation, there was a transformative process I had to go through. And I wasn't going to get to the juicy stuff if I was going to stay amongst the things that made me comfortable, right? And stay doing the habits and the practices that were a part of my everyday life. Okay, so embracing those cave moments is all about recognizing when you have to step away from what is regular day-to-day life. And it may mean moving countries, right? It may be that drastic for some of you. For others, it may just mean separating yourself from the everyday hustle and bustle, your regular habits, the everyday people that you have in your space, and taking time for yourself to process whatever transformation is happening in your life at that time. Maybe some of you had that cave moment during 2020 because we had this pandemic. And so because we were in a pandemic and the world was on lockdown, everything came to a pause. And for many of us, it's the first time in our lives, in our adult lives, that we had to pause. And even if you are like me, where you didn't really skip a beat, you had to keep going, and maybe 10x or 100x you're going because of the field of work you were in, You were still at pause with all the external things. You weren't going into your office. You weren't interfacing with your team members the same way. You weren't interfacing with your family in the same way. You may not have been traveling. You're seeing your friends. All of that stuff came to a halt. And just for a moment, maybe a long moment, but just for a moment, you had to face yourself. And a lot of us struggled with that facing of ourselves and going into that cave and looking at where you are right now in your life and what is going to be next for you. Right? So embracing those cave moments is really critical when you're on a transformation journey. You need that silence of the regular. You need to step into a wintering of sorts where life itself seems frozen, but you are going through an internal transformation, right? And what do? What you do is you observe, you write down, you pray, you meditate, you read, you find a guide. You see what you can attract into your space that is going to help you to learn and to grow and to nurture yourself into this next level of whatever it is you are becoming. That's how you manifest in these cave moments. You don't sit there and just wallow in the fact that you're in a cave moment. Eventually, you're going to move past that. Eventually, you want to access that place where you're looking at yourself and asking the question, who am I? What do I want out of my life? What do I want for myself? What do I want to create? What do I want to experience? Asking yourself those questions, right? So cave moments allow you to do that. Okay? Now, the next gem that I wanted to share was from an experience that Alina shared that she had when she moved and was settling in and started to practice again, because she was a therapist, so she was practicing when she was in Romania, and she came to Jamaica and she started to do her practice again, and a doctor here, a very probably well-known therapist, I don't know who it is, she didn't tell me her name, which is fine, but kind of said to her, hey girl, I know you know where you're coming from, you're all certified and everything, and you're over there, you may be, psychotherapist, whatever, but over here, you don't have the same certifications. Like, you're not Dr. Apostol over here. And so, I think you need to just, do your astrology thing, because we don't want you messing up what's going on for other therapists over here. Now, I'm completely paraphrasing. Alina did not say any of those things. But essentially, she was saying, you're either going to go through and become certified the way that we're certified here, or you're gonna, just say you're something else because you're not what I am. No, you're doing something different. Now, when I heard that story from Alina initially, what occurred for me was that, this person may have been a naysayer, right? Because it's not like it's every day you wake up and you hear of an astrologer therapist. Oh yeah, I'm a psychotherapist and I also connect with, the planets and the stars you don't hear that every day. Although, keep in mind that before psychology was dubbed the psychology, that's all we had as human beings, was the sky and what it was doing, where the moon was and what was happening with the earth based on what was happening in the sky, right? That's like actually what was happening thousands of years ago. And it is what shaped the foundation of many of the things that we call our life today. But of course, modern day folks, we forget about all that history. And we are comfortable with the little boxes that we fit ourselves in. And so Alina was not fitting herself into this box that the other doctor, therapist woman was in. And so Alina had to ask herself, what is this naysayer actually saying to me? So my gem that I picked up from that was, you need to use the knowledge that the naysayers are imparting, even if it's being done in a negative way. Because I can tell you something, I have had a ton of naysayers. Up into 2020, I've had naysayers. okay? Coming from all sides. It doesn't always come in the form of a woman, even though we are very good at tearing each other down. Sometimes it comes in the form of a man or, children, whatever. It comes in different forms. And I've experienced it. You've experienced it. Naysayers come to tell you that you are not about your greatness, right? But that's okay, because every message, every interaction, every relationship is something for us to learn and grow from. And out of that naysayer's message, Alina was able to really double down on her authenticity. She was really ready now to say, I need to make a decision about who I am going to be, because do I want to go into this box so I can fit what other psychologists look like and make my therapy practice look like what everybody else's looks like? Or do I really want to stay true to who I am in my soul and in my heart? The thing that I know that I've intuitively been put on this earth to do, which is to be an astrologer and to be a psychotherapist and to blend those things in helping people, right? So what a boss move it was that Alina took to actually take her stance and say, I'm going to step fully into who I am authentically. Thank you, Dr. Therapist Lady, for helping me to go even deeper into that space. And I'm so glad she did, because I have been able to benefit from Alina's approach to therapy. And I have a therapist that is a traditional therapist, even though she focuses on a particular methodology. But I love that I can draw on this knowledge and insight from different people. I don't want to be in a box. I have not been able to do all these amazing exponential things by living inside of a box. Not everybody's meant to be in there, right? And so the third part of this whole gem dropping, right? So you get your knowledge from the naysayers, and then you use that knowledge to help you to stay true to your authentic self. Hold on to what you know to be your truth and stand in that and be intentional around that, and everything will work out as it should. It's just the laws of the universe. It's just going to happen. And nobody out there can tell us it's not going to happen, because it just will. It's a law. It kind of has to, right? So stay true to who you are and hold on to your truth, because that will ultimately allow you to access things that you wouldn't have been able to access all on your own, or by faking it and being in a box that somebody told you to get into. All right. Now, the fourth and final gem that I'm going to share with you today is the one that I think was the overarching theme of the conversation. And it's the thing I want you to take away with you the most, even though the other stuff was good too. Yeah, some juicy stuff we're talking today. But this fourth item here is something that I continuously work towards doing, towards being. And it's something that is so important. And I'm going to say it exactly the way that Alina said it, and then we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. She says, through her journey and through her decision making that she has done, that has maybe hurt some other persons, has changed her life, transformed her, tough things, situations that she's had to face and go through and make decisions around. She has brought the big lesson that she took from this into her practice. And that is empowering women to make peace with their choices. We as women tend to be in our heads about everything. The 60 to 80,000 thoughts that run through our minds, my gosh, they are so multifaceted and multidimensional, but oftentimes they're beating ourselves up for something we didn't do, or something we did do that didn't happen the way we wanted it to, or it didn't happen in the time that we wanted it to happen in. There's so much of that happening in our minds. We overprocess, we overthink, we rethink our overthinking, and we do not give ourselves enough grace. And so peace of mind is something that escapes us readily. It may be actually one of the things that you are seeking to access by participating, by being a part of this community, this show. by tuning in. Maybe it is that you are trying to seek more peace and ease in your mind. I know for sure that's one of the reasons why I started this movement. It's because I am ready to access peace, and I am ready to make peace with my choices. And my choices weren't easy choices. I chose to divorce my husband. I chose to separate from him and take my 3 children and raise them on my own. I chose to move to 2 different countries. I chose to change my career so that I could be happier. I made some difficult choices, and in making those choices, I hurt people. I made choices for myself that hurt others. And it has taken me many years to make peace. First of all, to understand that I had to make peace with my choices, because it doesn't serve me to beat up myself for the rest of my life. It's not like I woke up and intended to negatively impact persons. And it's not like you necessarily wake up to negatively impact people. I think deep down, most human beings are good. Most human beings have a positive intention within themselves, within their souls, in the depths of their heart. And then life happens. And you are in survival mode, or you are in, I know this is not good for me mode. But that often happens when you are involved with other people. You're not living by yourself. You're interacting, and you have different kinds of relationships, whether it's an intimate love partner, a parent, a child, a friend, whatever. And in these relationships and these decisions that happen, the other person that is on the other side of that decision may not be aligned with the direction that you want to go in. And you have a choice. You choose yourself so that you can maintain and do better and be better, become a better version of you, or you choose the person so that you can make them feel good, them feel safe, them feel like they're becoming a better version of themselves. And sometimes that just doesn't fly. It doesn't work. And you can't keep living for everybody else. And in choosing yourself, oftentimes it's not a popular decision. And there comes a point when you recognize that you have to make peace with that. Because that is what actually serves you stepping fully into your purpose. Being able to clear yourself and your space and your aura and your energy of toxicity, drama, illness, and dis-ease. And so I say, usher in the tough choices, usher in the access and acknowledgement and connection with your higher self, with your best self, with the person that you have within you to be, and welcome more peace into your life. Okay. And on that note, we say amen. And I say thank you so much for joining and listening to my reflections. I really felt this one, guys, as you can probably tell. And as we move into the new year, I'm actually thinking about going live with my reflections instead of doing them recorded. So maybe we'll look out for that in 2021. Yeah? Okay. So thank you so much for joining another episode of Reflections. And please take your time and listen to the episode with Alina. And I actually did a part 2 where we talked about what she was seeing in the stars for 2021. So take a listen to my conversations with Alina, and check her out as well on her Instagram page, Alina Apostol. And I wish you guys, just a lot of safety during this holiday season and a lot of epic planning for your 2021. So talk again soon on another episode of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. Take care.